Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Michael Fillios, founder and CEO of IT Ally and a CDO editorial board member. And we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT, CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Nick Sims, Divisional CIO, Neuromodulation at Abbott. Nick, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So Nick, tell us a little bit about your background and what moved your career in the direction of medical devices and more specifically neuromodulation. Perhaps you might need to define that for our audience as well, especially given your past IT leadership positions in financial services and retail.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me. Sort of some brief short story about my background. I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've started my career and spent a lot of time as an entrepreneur. So that's one huge aspect of really what I bring to the companies that I spend time with. I've spent a good deal of time in multiple industries, retail, financial services you called out, manufacturing, even entertainment media. What brought me to healthcare, what brought me to Abbott. I have, during my time when I was in Minnesota, I spent some time at the hospital at implants at the University of Minnesota. And that was due to my youngest daughter. She has a heart defect. And during that experience, I learned a lot about technology and how it overlaps with healthcare and really the transformational things that technology does basically in that space. And I thought, at some point in my career, I think it makes sense to give back to the healthcare industry. Abbott tapped me on the shoulder for that. Why Abbott specifically? My daughter actually has Abbott hardware in the body. And this neuromodulation division is one of the areas where it just made sense.
Very cool. Very cool. No, that's interested to hear more. So obviously, we're talking to an audience that is largely chief data officers and other practitioners that use AI and big data in their everyday, careers. So how is the business unit within Abbott's medical device division that you are working with using AI, big data analytics, and other innovative technologies to improve consumers' lives globally? And secondarily, how do you see that evolving in the coming years ahead?
Yeah, so one of the products that we have, it's a product that was featured in Time Magazine recently as one of the recent 2021 innovations, for top innovations for Time. And it's a product called Neurosphere Virtual Clinic. And what this product does is it connects into the body, into the spine, in order to sort of tap on our body's neural network within that spine. And it basically tells, that spine that you don't feel this chronic pain. It tells the body that you can't feel this pain. And it helps patients out to live a happier and healthier life after they've been dealing with chronic pain for so long. And it helps them deal with that. These types of innovations are using AI to help direct those signals. We're also helping to, really understand more about pain in order to better treat pain, right? So where do I see that going in the future? I think you're going to see us use, AI for better decision making, for better product development, and in ways where there's a lot of human element today that are making some decisions. I think you'll see AI help us bring more data and more suggestions to the table for ultimately for a human to come back and say, hey, Does this make sense? Is that the right way to go? Right. So I think we're going to just get smarter, with the use of AI in our decision making and product development process.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense, for sure. You've recently joined, about less than a year ago, so this still might be in the forming stages, but what can you share with us, with respect to some of the key initiatives that you're working on? How are some of these neuromodulation technologies being used? And, I think our audience would love to hear more about, some of this in the real world context.
For neuromodulation, you asked this question about what is neuro, right? So, first, neuro is think the spinal cord and also the brain, right?
Mhm.
Think that neural network. So it's really the brain and the spinal cord is basically where we play, and modulation is just modifying those areas, right? So you're modifying the spine, modifying the brain.
Mhm.
I joined Abbott during a time where we were right in the middle of the pandemic still, right? So we're on the cusp of sort of the ending points of it now, where we're starting to treat it more like a normal disease, if you will. But uh, when I joined, we were still kind of in the thick of it, okay? And specifically for Abbott, the neuromodulation division was keenly focused in around responding to pandemic. So for our division, what I've been focused in around is making sure that uh, the technology that we actually have to support our products, very much so cloud technologies, that we're enabling really strong customer experiences through those technologies, and that we're showing up not only internally to the different functions within this business, but also out to the consumers. So it's been very much consumer focused, and making sure that we're actually showing up the right way.
Sure. So do you see that, I guess, your initiative portfolio evolving coming out of COVID perhaps? And one of the things we always like to talk about, particularly with someone that's in a business unit role, is how do you drive that alignment between the BU strategy and the IT, strategy and roadmap, and, your process for prioritization, in doing so?
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one. I think when you think about business strategy and this alignment, is pretty easy to anchor on exactly where the business needs to go. You don't really have to think about it a whole lot, right? So you look at neuromodulation, you look at our medical devices as a whole for this company, and then also as a part of that, what neuro wants to do. It's pretty easy to just anchor on where is it that we're trying to go. And that is really the focus of my team, our strategic roadmap, and the things that we do and how we prioritize. Is what are the business priorities? What's most important for next year? What's most important for the next couple of years? Um, where are some of those gaps that as we learn more? I came in, fresh, new to healthcare, new to neuromodulation. So I spent a lot of time, and my team spent a lot of time listening, going on field rides, spending time with doctors, spending in the OR room, spending time with our sales reps, and just meeting the entire team, and just reconfirming and aligning that the things that we had prioritized in the past and the things that I'm hearing are aligned. That's actually going to help us meet business goals, right? And um, as long as there's no gaps there, and we're helping to align business goals, the priority is pretty straightforward.
Gotcha. I mean, maybe as a follow-up, are there any particular initiatives that come to mind, Nick, that you can share that you would, put at the top of the list, either to drive that strategy toward or to enable it?
Yeah, I think the things that I would maybe anchor on are things that are important and sort of happening in the broader community. Things like cybersecurity. When you look at some of the things that our CEO Robert Ford spoke about at CES this year, Abbott was the first healthcare company to actually be a headline keynote for CES this year, which was fantastic. But Robert spoke about really some new product innovations that we're bringing to market, when you anchor all of those things back, in order to bring those great things to market and continue to provide great products for patients, on the technology side, things like cybersecurity is extremely important in order to maintain confidence in our consumers and also broader the healthcare industry that we're doing the right things and bringing products to market with that as a lens. So that's one area
Mhm.
we're focused in around cyber, continuing to strengthen and continuing to really follow all of the processes and regulations that we have in front of us, and also kind of go a step beyond that.
Well, I think that's a great place to end our conversation for today. Nick, thank you so much for joining me. And to learn more about CDO Magazine or to view more interviews, please visit cdomagazine.tech. Thank you.
Thank you.